Have you ever seen someone's life implode one phone call at a time? Because I did. It started with a Craigslist ad, 45 free chickens. By the end of it, a cheating boyfriend was begging strangers to stop calling him and his ex. She was just getting started. If you've ever believed that karma always finds a way, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice doesn't just knock, it kicks the door down. Now, let me tell you about the most brilliant, petty revenge I've ever witnessed. It wasn't even my problem at first. I was just browsing Craigslist late one night, looking for some extra hens for my small homestead. Feed prices were up, and when I saw the ad, 45 free layer hens. Take a few or take all. Must go immediately. I thought I'd struck gold. It seemed almost too good to be true. The listing said the birds were the right age, the right breed, and ready to lay. The contact number was local, so I figured I'd give the guy a quick call. When he picked up, I could instantly tell something was off. His tone wasn't just irritated, it was broken. "Oh, STIs?" He barked into the phone. I froze for a second. I'm calling about the hens." Then was a pause, then a sigh, half defeat, half pure rage. He muttered, "Jesus Christ, not again." That's when I realized I just walked into a storm that had nothing to do with chickens. He let out this exhausted laugh, the kind that sounds like someone who's one bad day away from losing it completely. "Look, man," he said, "I don't have any damn chickens. I don't even have a backyard. My ex is doing this." I blinked. "Your ex." And just like that, the floodgates opened. He started telling me the story, almost like he needed someone, anyone, to hear it. Apparently, he'd been dating this woman for over 2 years. Let's call her Tessa. He described her as smart, loyal, the kind of person who'd bend over backward to support him. But then, he cheated. And not some one-night slip-up, either. It was a months-long affair with someone from work. Tessa found out the classic way. She saw something pop up on his phone while he was in the shower. Curiosity turned to suspicion turned into digging, and the digging uncovered everything. Messages, photos, even hotel receipts. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just left. Packed her things, blocked him, and moved out of their shared apartment the same week. He thought that was it, that he'd gotten away easy. No yelling, no scene, no revenge. But Tessa wasn't done. Not even close. A few days later, his phone started ringing, and it didn't stop. The first ad she made said moving overseas, giving away 45 healthy laying hens, free to a good home. Call anytime, day or night. And she'd included his number. He said he got nearly 100 calls in the first day. Farmers, backyard chicken keepers, curious neighbors, even kids asking if they could come pick one up for a school project. He managed to flag the post for removal, but before Craigslist could take it down, she'd already posted a new one. It escalated fast. A few days later, he got calls from strangers asking about a motorcycle for sale. Then came one about free fencing materials, another about a puppy needing rehoming, and even one offering a roommate deal. Tour. Share half a big house cheap. Owners out of town most of the time. He told me, voice trembling with disbelief. I live in an apartment, man. No chickens, no motorcycle, no damn fence. I can't even have pets. Every time he got one ad removed, she posted another. In a different category or under a slightly different title, Craigslist couldn't keep up. She'd even learned to use different cities and regions, all with the same phone number, so the chaos spread wider and wider. By this point, he was getting dozens, sometimes hundreds, of calls and texts every single day. He tried turning off his phone, but it was a work phone. His job relied on that number. Clients, supervisors, contractors, all reaching him there. He couldn't afford to lose it. He told me about waking up at 3 a.m. to missed calls from people halfway across the state asking about free puppies. About answering the phone at work thinking it was his boss. Only to hear a stranger asking, when can I pick up those hens? The man was unraveling. He said his boss started noticing missed calls, frustrated tone, losing focus. He was on thin ice at work, all while juggling the embarrassment of strangers blowing up his phone. He even tried calling his ex to beg her to stop. But she ignored him, blocked his number. The only messages getting through were the ones she wanted from Craigslist. And honestly, I couldn't even blame her. He told me, almost defensively. I mean, yeah, I cheated. But this is psychotic. But the more he talked, the more I could feel it. She wasn't just being crazy, she was being methodical. Think about it. She didn't yell, didn't vandalize, didn't go to his workplace. She didn't even contact his friends or family. She just made him live in chaos, one phone ring at a time. Every stranger calling him was a reminder of what he'd done. As the motorcycle still available, or, can I pick up the hens today? Was a tiny echo of her saying, you brought this on yourself. He'd betrayed her trust, so she hit him where it hurt his peace, his image, his convenience. Not illegally, not violently, just brilliantly. Back to that night on the phone. I remember feeling torn between laughing and feeling sorry for the guy. I told him I'd flag the ad and let other chicken keepers know it was fake. He thanked me, voice trembling with exhaustion. Before hanging up, he said, I've changed passwords, I've called Craigslist, I've done everything. But she's relentless. And honestly, I could tell he knew deep down he deserved every bit of it. After that call, I checked Craigslist again a few days later out of curiosity. Sure enough, there were new ads at Sure, free patio set, moving sale, everything must go, purebred puppy, needs a home ASAP, all with the same number. I couldn't help but shake my head. Somewhere, Tessa was probably sipping coffee, smiling at her phone, knowing that for once, he was the one being played. A week later, I got another call from a mutual contact who'd seen my online post about the fake ad. Apparently, he'd finally cracked. He'd gone to HR at his company, explaining the situation in detail, his ex posting fake ads, his phone being unusable, his mental state falling apart. And HR told him they couldn't change his number because it was tied to his official accounts and client data. So, he ended up taking temporary leave just to deal with it. Imagine that losing work time, pay, and credibility, all because you couldn't keep a secret from your girlfriend. Eventually, after about 3 exhausting weeks, he managed to convince Craigslist support team to block any new ads tied to his number. But by then, the damage was done. His coworkers knew. His friends teased him. And Tessa, she'd already moved on, clean, unbothered, and probably laughing every time someone mentioned free chickens. I'll never forget the final thing he said before hanging up that first night. You know, he muttered half to himself, I thought she'd cry. I thought she'd curse me out. But this is worse. Because every time my phone rings, it's like she's reminding me what I threw away. And that, right there, was her victory. Not the chaos. Not the ads. The silence after he realized she'd beaten him without even speaking a word. Revenge doesn't always need to be loud or cruel. Sometimes it's poetic. It's letting someone drown in the noise they created, until they finally hear the echo of their own actions. Tessa didn't destroy his life. She just let him experience what it feels like to live in a mess of his own making. If that isn't poetic justice, I don't know what is. What do you think? Too far? Or perfectly fair? Drop your take in the comments. And if you've ever seen karma strike with precision, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories where revenge isn't cruel. It's crafted. Until next time, this is Money Mastery Hub, signing off with one truth. Justice may be slow, but it never forgets.